Are you living from your limits or from your liminal mindset? There is a big difference, and the more I go into my High Priestess studies, the more I'm noticing that the fine line is a bigger gorge than we realize. Let's talk about it. Welcome on in, everybody. My name is Jenna O'Malley. I am your soul writer, author of sci-fi fantasy with dashes of romance and nerdy references such as The Myrna Annals, Vitae Elangica, and more coming in the future. Don't mind me, I am all KT taped up. I spent the last 3 weeks finishing 3 different client deadlines of various large to small sizes and launching Vitae Elangica 2, The Captains of Zenith Falls, which was so much fun to write. Loved it so much. So we're looking today about something that some of us writers are doing without even realizing it. So are you, one, living from your limited spaces or from your liminal mindsets? Girlfriend, speaking of liminal spaces and a carpet in much need of vacuuming again. Morale. Hi. Hello, walking, talking, breathing kitty of liminal spaces that you are. We may or may not see more of Loki here. Anyway, so living from your limits lets self-doubt win. Living from your limits are things like, I've grown up in poverty, therefore all I know is living in poverty, therefore that's all I can expect out of my life. Living in your limited spaces is saying, no, I'll take that class whenever I can save up from it. And saving up for it never comes around. So what can we do to live more from our liminal spaces? So liminal spaces, hello girl child. Up on the shoulder. Look, ma, no hands. So what are some ways that you can acknowledge you're probably doing more of the liminal than the limited? So liminal spaces are honestly spaces where we grow and grieve our past selves. A vlog up in one of the corners somewhere for a card for that likely applies, or description box below if you want to talk about it one-on-one coaching. Opening up our minds to be more growth mindset based is probably the way I would have said to do the whole liminal thing, and accepting that they are not dark and scary, but rather full of growth potential. Like this void right here. Yes, ma'am. You might not hear it, but she's just purring away. So a lot of us are already doing this. We're embracing discomfort in various ways in our businesses. I used to be super duper hermit to the point that now I do live stream and vlogs, and I miss doing live streams and vlogs if I don't do them for 2 weeks. But a couple years ago when I first started this out, I would have full-on anxiety and panic attacks getting ready to do stream. Now it's just practice has made those tiny experiments into a very important and beloved cog of my business, not cog, but part of my business. And also allowing for the fact that we can do anything we put our mind to for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. And sometimes you can win marathons by running sprints, aka I can write this book by chomping it down into little sections. I can eat the whole cake if I allow myself 1 slice a day for X number of days. So at the same time, you're also allowing yourself to have like a sacred level pause for self-reflection. If you do planning, if you do the 12-week year, if you do HB90, if you do any of the mid-month planning things with me or another coach, or even just coming up with your own reflective questions on your own, using a worksheet from wherever, you're already on the right track to accepting that you are not as limited as you have allowed yourself to previously believe, as so long as part of that self-reflection includes looking at the fact that I've grown in the shadow spaces. I've grown in the darknesses, and maybe I've even outgrown the box I've put myself in for potentially too long. Yes, that is what I think I've been doing for the last year. I've been telling myself deep down, I really can't do this, and I am a poser. Then I got called out hardcore by a bunch of people who really adore me. So thank you. Because a lot of us don't have a very right brain perception about the world, unfortunately. We tend to look at the nothingness as something big, black, scary, worth slaying. What if really, truly, you're just supposed to become friendly with it? What if really, truly, it's just Ludo wanting to show you his shiny rocks? And therefore my right brain perception has me looking more at the whole picture, holistic thinking, pulling back and looking at the better ahead. It also has, for the first time in my life, my spatial processing, not just in like the space around me, spatial processing, but also in like the distance between me and my goals, spatial processing. The distance between me and some relationships that have crumbled the last several years for various reasons. And some are repairable, some are not, and that's okay. And there's also a lot of intuition involved here, especially when we're talking about like intuition regarding, you know, allowing there to be a process of some kind. Yes, ma'am. Are you trying to go to the other shoulder too? She's like slipping in half up there. Anyway. But then of course there's ultimately creating through the chaos. Trusting that there is a process, even when we feel like the muddy middle, not our book feels like the muddy middle. And speaking of the muddy middle, moments like this, where we get to pause and say it is muddy, but sometimes it's cuddly and warm and squishy, also is a good thing too. So, you probably have done more in the last 6 to 12 months than you have ever given yourself credit for. So, how are you making living from your liminal mindsets your function so that you're not feeding self-doubt and constantly giving validity to, you know, the imp, the ugly imp imposter syndrome that none of us want to deal with? So, until the next time, take care of yourself. You've always been worth it. Now more than ever, your voice matters. Dang it. I hope you find its value as much as you found value in others, because if you watched this far, you've put some value into this channel. Now, go put some value into you.